Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Merry Christmas to you out there. I hope everybody's doing great. And, what do you want to do on Christmas but to listen to a man who has had, I think, about 4 hours sleep at this point. And, my daughter's really happy, but I can't get any sleep. Oh, man, let me tell you. That cocoa melon. It has me beat. It really does have me beat. But let's talk about what's in front of us right now. First, let me remind you guys that the purpose of this channel is so you have something interesting to talk about. That's it. I come up with different subjects, different things that I see out there, and I try to give my commentary just as a regular guy. I'm not a reporter. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a financial advisor. Just a guy. I have experience in things. But I like to have the conversations that I can't have with anybody around me. When you when you have a new baby, that is your life, right? And I want to make sure that I spend as much time with my daughter as I can. And the few moments that I have, like many of you who are busy out there working, I get to watch YouTube videos on the can or when I'm driving or what have you. And then if I have, a spare 10 minutes or whatever, I'll sit down and make these videos. And my commentary is on this gentleman here that I had never heard of. It came across my screen because Smash JT talked about him. And I wanted to address it because one of the things that he said is he didn't want to sound like the smaller channels out there that talk about, e-begging and e-beggars and things like that. And, let me tell you something. There is a lot of channels out there that do that, and myself included, did it, have done it for a long time. And you have to give credit to a lot of that community, specifically Radical Rick, right? He's, for example, he called out Gerard years ago, right? I think the problem, back then when that started is that people go full negative right away, and you can't have a conversation anymore, and it attracts the wrong kind of energy to your channel, right? Because if you start off your conversations on something like this, saying this guy's a piece of shit, well, then it just became a binary, right? You're either for or against the guy, right? And nobody's entirely a piece of shit, right? There's some good to people, and there's some bad to people, and some have more bad than good. But this is something that occurs all the time. But when you do that, right, when the anti-e-begging community does this, it just, the conversations just break down, and it just turns into a slugfest that nobody wants to listen to. You're not going to change any minds by insulting people. You just don't, right? And you're certainly not going to have a meaningful conversation by doing that. You'll get, a fanatical group of people that enjoy, listening to that, because it's fun, guys. It's fun clowning on people. It's fun calling somebody a shithead or whatever. But that's not the point here. The point is to raise awareness. Isn't that the point? So not only people, but these YouTubers start realizing that people are tired of this stuff, of what's going on here. And let me tell you something. What is it that happens to these YouTubers when they reach a certain level that they lose their moral compass? I know there's people going to come to this video, try to defend this guy, but I want you, before you defend him, before anybody defends this guy, I want you to start your conversation by saying, if I run into trouble where I can't support my family, the first thing that I do is go out and ask for handouts. I go out to the street and panhandle. That's my first line of recourse. The first thing that I do is I go to strangers and I want to use them as a credit card. That's what happens to these YouTubers, right? I mean, I can name you scam after scam after scam, right? There's things that are legal but are immoral. You have YouTubers that took PPP loans out during the pandemic where, other small businesses couldn't get it. And these guys at the height of their earning power, right, during the pandemic, and they're still trying to get loans out there from the government, right? There's people that ask for medical bills in states that have, universal health care, very low income health care, right? For $100, you can get a health care plan. And there's genuine people out there that need help, that go to work every day, right? Let me ask you, who needs this money more? This man here or the waiter that just served you, that is working for $2 an hour and is dependent on you actually tipping them to make a living? How many charities out there actually need your help because they got scammed by, what is Asmongold and the rest of the crew over there taking commission on terminally ill children, right? I mean, these guys lose the moral compass when they get to a certain size. And it's just not saying, oh, this guy's trash or this or the other. Because, guys, you're not going to convince anybody because they don't think they're doing anything wrong, right? That's just it. And to those of us who are, regular, hardworking people, when I see this man say what he said, just like any other of you, and let me tell you, for those of you who live in YouTube land and judge every single aspect of life by YouTube, what we see here is a failure of a man. This is what rubs people the wrong way. When you are not able to take care of your family, most regular people don't beg. They don't. Not even immigrants. Let me tell you something. I'm Hispanic. For example, immigrants are a big issue here in the U.S. But I can't speak for every other country, but there's a lot of immigrants there, right? I can speak for the ones in Latin America. I can tell you Latin Americans, the reasons you see them on the Home Depot, the reason you see them selling oranges, selling fruit, selling tacos, is because they'd rather cut off their left nut before begging people for money. They come here to do whatever it takes. And a lot of Americans feel the same way. A lot of people born in this country feel the same way. A man provides. That's what a man does. Now, more and more people have no problem not working and taking, welfare, especially the younger generations. At least that's what I see. But in reality, in everyday life, if you do that, there's going to be an end to you. Somebody's not going to respect you. Nobody respects somebody who goes for handouts right away. This is what rubs the people the wrong way, right? Because this is not something a regular person would do, right? People do this when they have no other choice, right? There's charities, there's people in need, especially during Christmas, that need your money. Let me ask you, how is this different than what DSP does? It's not. It's not any different. The only difference is how many subs he has. That's the only difference. And that's a problem in YouTube land. And to do it in Christmas is especially egregious. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad person. I don't know him. I couldn't tell you what kind of guy this is. But I can tell you what kind of person does this. The kind of person that does this is a person that has lost all notion of reality because of YouTube, that thinks that their audience is a credit card for when they get in trouble. I mean, this man says things like, I might have to downsize. I might have to get a regular job. That's what you do first. That's what you do first before asking for help. That's what the rest of us do, right? At some point, these guys stop becoming regular human beings and they become YouTube stars. And those people I want no part of. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.